This is John from What's Jump, and we're at PAX East with Media Molecule's community manager, James Spafford. How you doing today, James?
I'm great, thanks.
All right. So can you tell us a little bit about Media Molecule's new game, Tearaway?
Tearaway is a 3D action-adventure platform game set in a little papery world that you hold in your hands, and you're playing through it with your little papery messenger friend called Iota, and there's a girl version called Atois, and it's like a buddy movie between the two of you.
All right, so you said it's a buddy movie, so you'll be playing as two of the characters separately?
So you're playing as the little messenger, but you're also playing as yourself. So you're a character in this game. It's a little world that you're holding in your hand, so you can affect it with touching it and poking it and moving it around. So the game is aware of you as a being. So it's like you and Iota on this adventure through a papery world together.
So the player actually interacts with the character in the story. Does the PS Vita hardware come into play with that?
Yeah, so we use like all the bells and whistles of the PS Vita. So one of the most unique ones is that we use the back touch to allow you to push your fingertips up inside the game, and you'll see your fingers like bursting through the floor of the papery world, which is really great. It means like if Iota gets stuck and needs like to move a rock out of the way or something, then you can just push your finger in, and then because you're so huge, it's like a godlike power that you can just move things around and help Iota complete his delivery adventure. Because he has a message for you inside his head that he's trying to get to you, and that's the whole purpose of the game, is to like be able to read this message.
All right.
Every time we even try and make something, we always end up making it creative. But one thing we really wanted to do was kind of stretch our muscles a bit and make something a little bit different from Little Big Planet, so we made this quite personal, story-based adventure game. But even doing that, we started adding in like creative gaming elements into it. So as you go through the game, you'll collect plans that you can print out for all the animals and trees and things, so you can like craft your own papercraft landscape.
All right, cool. So the concept of Tearaway is very unique. Where did that idea originate from?
So the lead designer on the game, Rex, he was kind of thinking about what kind of game we could make with PS Vita, and he really started playing with that back touch. And this strange idea came to him about being able to push your fingers into a world and actually be able to touch a game world. And then he started thinking about what kind of game world you'd actually want to touch. Like, you wouldn't want to touch one that was made of fire or spikes or like horrible things to touch. And he looked around him and just, his desk is like this mountain of paper. He just doodles things all the time, constantly, and he's crafting stuff. And so he saw this paper, and it was already like this landscape, this world that had been made. And he just thought, you know, that's a lovely tactile thing, lovely to touch. And so the two things came together, and then we made Tearaway.
So you said that it's a creative title. Will players actually be able to create things in the game?
So there's customization rather than creation in-game. Little Big Planet 2 is about making stuff like virtually, whereas this one we want to make get people to actually craft things in real life. Having said that, like, you can customize your character using like cut out little bits of paper and glue that onto their face, move their eyes around, and sometimes you'll meet creatures that need some customization, so you can like customize them, color them in, and then print that design out and make them in the real world. Like, so it kind of feeds back and forth between the real world and the game world. This really strange blend of the two. Okay.
So Little Big Planet was a very accessible multiplayer game. Are there any multiplayer elements or online elements, social, to the game?
So this game is kind of a really personal game between you and Iota. So in that sense, it's co-op, but it's actually only a single-player game. It will connect into social media and stuff, though. So when you're making all your papercraft plans and things, you'll be able to share them. You're also taking photos throughout the game of things you're doing to like build like a journal. So you'll be able to share your adventures with your friends. Okay.
So Tearaway has a very unique art style, and everything seems to be made of paper. Can you touch on that a little bit?
Sure. So the paperiness of it is more than just an art style. Like, it's the ethos of the whole game. So everything in the game is made out of paper. It behaves like paper. It can crumple and fold and tear and roll up. And even our designers, when they're making stuff, they start out with flat sheets of virtual paper, which they like fold up into shapes. So we know that everything in the game can be made from paper because everything has a plan associated with it.
All right, so do you have any last thing to say to the fans? Just one thing that they should know about Tearaway before it comes out?
So Tearaway is like a super unique game. You should all have fun playing it. It's really for everyone, young, old, doesn't matter. Just come and play our game. It's fantastic. You'll love it.
All right, this is John from What's Jump, and you can check out Tearaway on PS Vita this fall.